Can you spell that out for us as well?
Yes. A as in apple, Z as in zebra, U as in umbrella, L as in llama, Z as in zebra, A as in apple, P as in Paul, A as in apple, T as in Tom, A as in apple.
I love that.
I've had to do this so many times on the phone. Anytime someone asks me for my name at like a coffee shop, I would say, I'll look at them and I'll read their tag and be like, do they deserve my real name? If not, it's Katie.
Hi, and welcome to the Queer Vision podcast. I am Becca. My co-host is not here anymore. We had a couple issues. Just like technology didn't work well for us this time. And Koee, you'll see they pop in and out. Um, they were here for the majority of the interview. They just are not here to help me do the intro and outro, so you don't get to hear their beautiful voice right now. But this was an amazing conversation with Azul. Azul is an immigrant. She is in a loving lesbian relationship, and she is a musician and an artist and had a lot of really fun things to talk about today. And you'll get to see some of her art, which is beautiful and exciting and different. Very, very amazing. Great conversation. You'll love it. So pop in here and listen on for more.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us today, Azul. I'm so excited to learn more about you. I was just reading up on you, listening to some of your music, so I'm really excited.
Excited to be here. Uh, excited to connect and chat with you, lovely human.
So tell us a little bit about
Yes.
you. I know that I got to see you perform once, but I didn't really hear much about you. So tell us about you, how you got started in this band, and little bit about your backstory.
I'm originally from Argentina. I was born in San Carlos de Bariloche in the southern cone of Argentina. So
Mhm.
I'm more southern than any southerner here. I'm much closer to Antarctica than they've ever been. So that's me. I moved to the States when I was still little. So like we lost Koee.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have that happen a couple times.
Okay.
They'll jump in when they
Should I keep
can. I don't
going?
know. Yeah, keep going. Tell us about
Okay.
you.
Great. Yeah, so I moved to the States when I was little, and I have a little brother.
Hmm.
And I grew up I would say that we were a musical household. My dad plays guitar. My mom always had music on, and I was very influenced by American media and television and everything that I could absorb. Let's see. I moved to North Carolina when I was 10. I was like just turning 10. So I've been in the Carolinas since I was 10 years old with some off and on stuff. I've been in the Triangle area since 2015. I
Okay.
did go
Wow.
to UNC Chapel Hill. I was in the Triangle area for that and then left for a little bit and then came back. So yeah, I've been around for a little while. I've always done music, but I didn't really give myself permission to make that a career until I finished college and I didn't get any of the internships that I wanted in like the
Mm.
journalism and tech world. And I said, am I allowed to curse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go
Can
ahead.
I
Yeah.
curse? Okay. I said, fuck this. And I went off to France to be an au pair.
Oh.
And while I was in France, no one knew me. No one had any expectations of me. I didn't have to do anything except, go to like one class a week in like a little French school and then make sure the kids had everything that they needed. So all of a sudden I had all this free time. I was like filling it up with writing stuff for myself, going out to jazz bars and hip hop clubs, and I was like Batman, whereas like during the day I was this like super nanny, and then at night I would, after I put dinner on the table, I would take two buses and a tram into the city center. This was not Paris, by the way. This was a town in the mountains called Grenoble.
Oh.
And from there, I didn't have eyes on me, nobody knew who I was, so I could do whatever I wanted.
Right.
And that was really important to me. So when I came back to the US, I was like, I'm not giving up that freedom. So I did everything I could. I've worked every single kind of job that you can think of to just keep doing the music thing and just being scrappy and all that jazz. And I was in uh, a electro pop duo for like a half a second, and then and then I went into, I guess, more like synth pop. Whatever, genres are stupid.
Yes.
And then in 2018, I decided to just go out and start doing my own stuff. And in doing my own stuff, what I learned from my experience in that original duo about how many times I was either the only queer person, or I was the only um, femme person, or I was the only person of immigrant status in a space, and everything around me was just straight white dudes. And I realized how much that fucked with me internally, and I like started to open my eyes of just like how much every single music scene is so straight white male centered. And I said, I cannot do this. So I made sure that I was never the only, either, I'm a very white passing Latina, but I wasn't the only like POC, the only queer person, the only femme person on stage. So I always made sure to hire other people in my band that had some kind of that. And now, was that 2018, 7 years ago? And now I can say I don't work with any straight white men.
Hell yeah.
So
I love.
besides some like producing and engineering, but I'm also transitioning out of that as well, because what I think I would get so mad at whenever I would say things like this in around certain circles, they'd be like,
Right.
they're just so hard to find. Like, I don't know where they are. And I'm just like, you can find them. You can just
Yeah.
maybe Google,
Yeah.
maybe
That part.
Instagram. I have made so many friends on the internet. Like I've made one of my closest friends on the internet, and she's a wonderful trans woman who is also a musician and engineer and a producer. And I conned her into being in my band for a little bit.
I
Like,
Hell
love.
yeah.
it's important.
Yeah.
So,
It's really
it could take a little bit of work, but it's not that much work.
and I think
Yeah.
like it just like I don't know, it makes me think about community as a whole and just how important community is, like finding the people that make you feel safe and at home, especially when you're creating art. Because art is
Yes.
so inherently vulnerable, the more that it's your safe world in a way, if that makes sense. Like I feel like
Yeah,
the more vulnerable
absolutely.
you can be and the better art that you can create.
100%.
I love that. So I don't know why
100%.
I assumed that whenever you said that you went to UNC that you went for music. So whenever you were like, yeah, and then so I was like, oh, okay. That's not what I thought you were gonna go for. So what made you go for, you said journalism?
Yeah, so I went into at UNC, I did a degree in global studies, and then I have a double minor in journalism and Hindi and Urdu. I feel so weird saying that out loud. But yeah, I went into this school thinking that, I want to do international studies because I want to learn how the world works. I want to understand, how things work across different cultures. And I my first language is Spanish, and then I uh, took French in high school, so I had like a whatever level of French, and did not fall in love with the French department at UNC. I hope they don't hear this, but they're not there anymore. I bet certain people are not there anymore, and whatever. But then I always found myself like drawn to South Asia and just a curiosity about it. I grew up with a lot of like Pakistani and Gujarati people in my community, like around me. So I was like always really interested. And then I was like, you know what? Just let me keep expanding and keep following this thread. I got my minor almost by accident because I took all the levels of Hindi and Urdu that you could take at UNC. And then on top of that, I did study abroad. And then like I took a bunch of other classes. So I studied abroad in India. One day when everyone was turning in this little piece of paper, which as an ADHD person, everyone around you turning in a little piece of paper that you don't have, it's like so triggering. I'm like, what's that little piece of paper, guys? Where's
No, for real.
what does that mean? They would be like, oh, so this is, this is for the minor. I mean, you're in this class. You must already have this minor ready. And I looked at my teacher, and my teacher, who knew me so well, was like, do you want me to go get that little piece of paper for you? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I'll just sign it for you and turn it in for you. And I'm like, thanks.
I
That was an
love that.
accident. I almost didn't get it, but like I was definitely overqualified for it. He's
Mhm.
like, Azul, like it was just one piece of paper. And I said, do you know how hard it is for me to
Mhm.
keep on to a piece of paper? So hard.
So hard. I feel like the big things, you're like, yeah, I got all those things. And then like the littlest things, you're like,
Oh yeah.
they're like finding a needle in a haystack. You can't remember it.
Mhm.
It's not possible.
Or sometimes I'm really good at holding on to that one piece of paper, and then like my car inspection will be overdue by 4 months. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yep.
Like here's the piece of paper that tells me to do that thing. It's 4 months late now.
Mhm.
Yep. Did you do it? No, but I still have that
No,
reminder.
I have it.
That part.
I love that so
Yeah.
much.
It's just
So
so
I did
real.
not go to school for music. I did not. But the whole time I was like doing a cappella, or
Right.
I was staying up way too late recording random tracks with, up in like other musicians and stuff like that, but never like allowing myself to say, I am also a musician. I am a
Right.
singer. And
Mhm.
it's I'm like, oh, this is just something I do for fun. Meanwhile, inside of me, there was a diva saying, no.
Yeah. I
So
think I think the way like society is structured, especially in the art world, sometimes makes that hard too. Like I feel like, I don't know, like unless you're like in the stars, like having all of the glitz and glamour and like all those big milestones that people usually strive for, I think it almost
mhm.
makes it harder to be like, I am an artist, I am a musician, I am this,
Yeah.
because you still have to get up and go to maybe the day job or do these other things that in our minds, because of the way pop culture and society has painted what a musician or an artist is, we're like, okay, now it's just a hobby because I'm not
Yeah.
fully supporting myself, which is not true.
Yeah.
But I think it's a hard threshold for a lot of people to break through, because I've definitely dealt with that
I will
as well.
I will also say it's that like now in 2025, we have people that come from all these like diverse backgrounds and
Hmm.
all these different things in the culture, and also a bunch of Nepo babies. But I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm 33. And I grew up with like the Christina Aguileras, the Britney Spears, even like the Demi Lovato's, like um, all these people that have been famous since they were like 15.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So
Or
even
younger.
at 20 or younger, right, are the Miley Cyruses of the world.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And like I had it in my brain. And also I didn't see any Latina people
Hmm.
who looked like me or sounded like me or had weird names like me, or there was always a way that I was like in my own mind, and also by society, I guess,
Hmm.
I was deemed unacceptable to be doing that thing successfully. But it really wasn't until like honestly, like I got more into and accepting myself as a queer person, that I was like, oh, fuck everybody. Like
Yeah.
truly fuck
Yeah,
everybody.
exactly.
And there's just such a beautiful sense of like release and rebellion and freedom that a queer community just gives to an artist,
Hmm.
that I'm the type of person that I want everyone to, and I want everyone to feel that and not feel like
Hmm.
they have to be a certain thing to be successful in how they do their
Exactly.
art, as
I
long as
love
it's
that.
not hurting anybody.
Right. I
Hmm.
love that so much.
So
I feel like I've experienced a lot of that same stuff because, I mean, Koey and I have talked about this a lot. I feel like the more that I am at our events where it is like there's majority queer people here, I feel more free in myself. I feel like there are less people looking at me. I like, even though there are actually more people looking at me because it's our events, but like it
yeah.
feels less judgmental. It's like I can walk down the street and be like, well, I don't care if these people look at me because my people don't care. And like, same thing with the art. Like, I don't think that I have ever felt like a true artist until like this past year because of how many people are like, well, yeah, you just create things. It doesn't matter if it's your job or not. And I feel like that's
Hmm.
very, 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 very similar story. Obviously, I don't do nearly as much as you do, but it's creating that
Doesn't matter.
community and feeling, well, that's fair. And feeling that like, hey, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what other people think. You are this thing. You don't have to check 10,000 boxes by the time you're like 10.
Also capitalism. Also,
That.
capitalism makes us think that we have to turn our hobbies into something that is marketable and
Yes.
Hmm.
product based, and that's something that can be sold, right? I sometimes walk a fine line of like, sometimes I just want to be a little like weirdo and disco tile things for fun.
Hell yeah.
And then other people like, you should sell them. You should make a profit. I'm like, I'm doing this because I actually don't want to talk to anybody. And I like the way it looks and it makes me happy. And the repetitive action of it allows my brain to do other things. That's why I disco tile things. And they're like, sell it for $350. You should do this. So I was like, if you knew how much time I actually spent on these and how much money I've spent on buying certain sizes of disco tiles, it should be over $1,000.
That's fair. I feel like that's the hardest thing about art is whenever people are like, well, you should sell this thing that you made. Well, okay, if we're actually talking capitalism and you divide out how many hours I did this thing and I want to have like a livable wage. Okay, $15 an hour. That's still $1,000. Like that's that's a lot.
Just the hours plus the amount of like materials, education that you've gone out and gotten yourself to like learn how to do something better, whatever, all that shit, that's neither
Hashtag capitalism. Do you have any of your disco tile stuff so we can see it?
Do I have my Okay, remember how I said I have ADHD?
Yeah, us too.
My
It's okay.
office is a mess.
That's okay.
But I'm going to get up and you can see some of my Okay, I don't know if you can see her.
That's gorgeous.
Got colorful jewels.
I love this.
This is my leg.
Yes, leg.
Oh my God. I love this
This is
so
one
much.
of my legs.
I love this.
I've got an assortment of arms. So
period.
the person that has to like put up with my bullshit is my wife and my cats and my dogs. But like, if you could see how magical the lights are in my office,
it's reflecting
when it's, like,
on
in
you.
the sun. Yeah, it's so fun. And there's all different kinds. This one is you can kind of see her. She has an outfit on right now because she was like 100% naked. I didn't think that would be good in the background, but she's actually this is the kind of shit that I know people might think that I'm like this cool person, but I am just a little gremlin that has been allowed. I'm like a dragon and a gremlin that I just like shiny things. So she's actually a lamp.
Work.
Where it lights up on the inside and it's concave disco tiles on the inside. So she's like a woman shaped. And then I have another mannequin on this side. She's not disco tiled yet, but she has no arms and one leg and she's seated.
Well, the fun part is you already have two. Do you have a leg and an arm? You can kind of like put them together.
Tragic.
This lady off Facebook Marketplace, she said, or I think the title of the Facebook Marketplace was like, random mannequin piece parts, don't be weird. And I messaged her, I'm like, hey girl, what do you mean don't be weird? And she's like, what are you planning on doing with these mannequin pieces? I said, be completely honest with you. I'm going to disco tile them. I'm going to put pieces of glass and beads and random shit on there. And she's like, God, thank God, everyone's just using them for sex. And I was like, no, let me take them off your hands. And then what do I do but show up at my house and I'm like trying to get all these pieces into my house without my wife noticing, like literal body parts. And then one more, I forgot.
Okay.
My shower door, my glass shower door in my bathroom broke about 3 weeks ago, just like into a million pieces.
Oh
That's one of my biggest fears.
4
Oh my God.
What? 4 a.m.? I'm so sorry to say that your biggest fear does happen.
Yeah.
And glass is actually a very finite resource because it's based off of sand and all that stuff. And I was cleaning up all the glass at 4 a.m. and I was like, I should do something with this. So I've been putting it on this lady.
I love it.
So pretty.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Part of me just wants to like get paint and paint like things on it. I'm not even a painter. I just like
but it's fun.
The idea of it.
Yeah. You just have to be okay with sometimes getting tiny pieces of glass in your fingers.
Okay, fair. Fair.
Okay. So now you know a little bit more about my visual art that I did not think we were getting into today.
You know what? It's a part of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it is. I really want to start disco tiling stuff too. I've thought about this and I'm taking it as my sign.
I don't know how much bigger of a sign you need. I will teach you my ways. It's really fun. You can disco tile anything that doesn't move, is what I say.
Oh, you can disco tile things that move.
You can, just not. What happens is that all my animals occasionally I'd be like, "What is that?" And it's just like a little piece of disco tile on them. It's fine.
I was thinking like a
Just-
fan, not an animal.
Oh, yeah, that probably.
Me, I was just thinking like a human body, but that not in a weird way, not in a weird way, like
Yeah, yeah.
myself.
Just
You
be
know?
careful with glue because
Yeah.
in this journey, I have found out I'm allergic to certain kinds of glue, and I didn't know that.
So we've had somebody on this podcast who used E6000 glue as eyelash glue one time.
Yeah, that's what I said too.
We both said that.
That's the kind of glue I'm not allowed to use anymore because it made my hands like break out, and I had to like,
Ooh.
But
yeah,
it's so fun to play with.
rough.
To play
It's I understand, but
It's a texture thing.
sticky, ouchie, ouchie.
Fair.
And I can't believe someone used that for their eyelashes. That's so bad. But you know what?
Yeah.
I respect the hustle. You're just trying
Real.
to get through your gig without your
Mhm.
eyelashes falling off. Ever.
Ever.
Just trying to
Oh
get
my
through
God.
the gig.
My God.
I
Is that
can't.
person?
Yeah, they can
Okay.
still. I think they can still see the same as they could before. Surprisingly,
Which isn't very
Which is-
good. So
yeah.
they
Great.
can't get
I
much
don't know.
more
Person
blind.
on
It's
the
okay.
chat with us today? I'm just asking.
No,
No, it is not me.
it's not either of us. It's okay.
It's not either of us.
Oh my
Got it.
God. Okay, so you are an artist in many, many senses. I love this. Okay, so what was your life growing up then? Like you moved around a few different times. So like what was your
Yeah.
experience as a queer person through your childhood?
I mean, I didn't really accept the fact, or like, I had this thing that I think started around like elementary school, like late elementary school, middle school, where I would call it the questioning of myself, which I thought was a yearly thing. But if I was really honest, it was probably like a monthly thing of like, do I like girls? Like, do I have strong
Girl.
feelings for girls? But I
Yes.
mean, mostly growing up in like Virginia and North Carolina, and like, I didn't know any gay people. I didn't know a
Mhm.
single queer person,
Mm.
a single one. And so I think also in being like a creatively minded person, I was I was inside my head so often, and I escaped into books a lot, and some of like the books that I would get into were like had like a little bit of queerness underneath it, but it wasn't like super obvious. So I feel like I escaped into a lot of things to try to ignore some of the scary things that were happening around us, around me in particular. Like, I know I'm a very like white passing Latina person, but at the same time, my name is Azul Morena Zapata. And growing
Mhm.
up in rural Virginia and growing up in rural North Carolina, they told me to go back to Argentina, or they told me to go back to
Mhm.
Mexico, or
Mhm.
they told me to go back to so many countries that I am not from.
Yeah.
And they called me like a South American freak. They would bully me. I understood the concept of otherness very early.
Yeah.
So I think because I always held that otherness inside of me, I didn't realize that I couldn't see that in other people until
Mhm.
maybe like college, post college. Or like I would try to like what I've always found is that like I'm a very earnest person. I tend to hold on to things like a little bit too hard, and I'm like a very intense person. So I think just growing up in the South and just being like a weirdo little kid, the relationships that I still have from all of those times, we're all a little gay, we're all a little autistic, we're all very ADHD. We're all almost all my close friends were eldest daughters or queer in some way. Like I realized that I was picking my community, even if I wasn't able to stay in that physical space.
Mhm.
The people that I still have friendships with now from like Virginia or different parts of North Carolina, or even in France, like they're people that could see through my intensity and my like just yearning for connection as they were just a fellow little queer weirdo. And now I get to be like, I don't want to say like I'm my full evolved self, but I feel like I'm happier in the way that I live my life because
Mhm.
um I do love my wife, my family, the way that I've built my life, my musician friends, my artist friends, my creative friends, and I could just be myself all of the time and not have to be masking all the time, which is so
Difficult.
exhausting.
Yes.
And I think I've always been a little bit contrarian's not the right word, and belligerent is also not the right word, but just like
Nonconformist?
nonconformist or like just like a lot of disdain for authority.
Yeah.
I think
I feel it.
they actually said that in my one of my report cards of just like Azul is a delight to have in class unless you have to tell her to do something. So
Real.
Same.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
guess the way that I got through it was finding people that I could have a connection with. I, threw myself into reading and books. And my little brother and I, we always sang and did music together and just disassociate.
Yeah,
No, that's real.
that tends to happen, yeah. Are you and your brother still pretty close?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's
Good,
Very much
awesome.
so.
good. How
Yeah.
far apart are
He
you
lives
in age?
5 years. Yeah.
Same with my
So,
sibling.
oh yeah, nice. He lives in LA though. So
Mm.
we call each other at random times. And
Mhm.
sometimes, I don't know if you are like this with your siblings, but I'll pick up the phone and he just says meow. And I'm like, not meow. And I'll just hang up.
You're like, not today.
Not meow, meow.
I can say I've
I
never
mean,
had that conversation with my siblings.
it's like the shorthand of like, I love you. I just can't talk to you right now. Like,
Yeah.
and I think you can only have that when you are that level of close.
Fair.
Mhm.
100%.
I love that.
And he's my first baby that I've ever. I'm a very nurturing slash like maternal type of person, and he was
Mhm.
my first thing that I gave that devotion to. Whether or not I was smothering him remains to be seen. But I love him. I love him. He's my little precious, my baby boy. Even though he's like 6'4" and could probably deadlift me.
Every tall man deserves to feel like a little boy sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I do.
love
Yeah,
that.
I do.
How long
Yeah.
have you and your wife been together, and how did you meet?
We met in 2018 on Bumble.
Word.
Yeah. Yeah.
I f-
So right around the time where I was like doing my solo career, I also was like putting a closing the chapter of my hoe days. I said,
Mhm.
I've had enough of that for right now.
Yeah.
And I decided to be like, I think I should give myself a chance because I've never been like a very big, like serious relationship type person.
Mhm.
Erica is the longest relationship I've ever been in. Like before
Mhm.
her, it had only been like my longest relationship had been like 9 months and it was with a man. So,
I love that.
so he was very nice. It's just that's it clearly meant to be.
Mm.
So yeah, we met on Bumble. She reached out first. I think her opening line was, "Your pictures provoke a lot of questions," and I think in my
Yeah.
like you can ask Erica like, "Is this an astrology podcast? Are we that flavor of queer?" Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My wife is a double Taurus. Her sun
Oh,
and moon
wow.
Oh.
are in Taurus. My sun and moon are both in Scorpio.
Oh,
So we are
wow.
sister signs,
Mhm.
like across the horoscope from each other.
Mhm.
I am a Scorpio stellium as well. So I'm just like very intense all the time, every time. And Erica, I don't think had been around someone who was like that, possibly ever. She is very creative. She's an attorney now, but before she became an attorney, she went to Meredith Law and she had a piano performance degree. She is an incredible musician, a great mind when it comes to understanding music and like feeling music. And I think that was a huge share point for us.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then she's also a weird little gay kid at her core too. Like that's why, I mean, I feel like all lesbians are obsessed with their partners, but like at our core, we're just two little gay kids that want to hang out with each other all the time. And like, she's my best friend.
All I can
I
imagine
love
is
that.
like the toddlers on the playground when they run up to each other and one's just like, "You're my best friend now," and the other one's like, "Okay, they're
Yeah.
together forever."
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
That's
I love that.
exactly what happened. Of course, we did fight and we still fight about like
Mhm.
stupid things, but
Every
Yeah.
relationship.
also we clean the same way, which I don't know if either one of you are in partnerships, long-term
Mhm.
partnerships, but if you find a partner who is as obsessive about cleaning and like organizing things as you are, or like the same level of does not give a fuck versus gives a lot of fucks, that will sustain anything.
Yeah.
No, I can
Honestly,
imagine.
I'm living with the first man ever who is able to clean up after himself and willing to, and also will clean up after me sometimes. I am a professional organizer who has OCD, and it helps a ton because I also have ADHD, right? So, like, I'm like, "Oh, we live in this house and we're like going around and doing crazy things, right? And then the house becomes a mess and then it's too much to do. But because
Mm,
he's living here now, it doesn't become that crazy mess. He
hmm
does things. And I'm like, oh, falling in love a little bit more every day, you know?
That
I love that. Oh, I'm also realizing that my rainbow sun catcher is hitting me in the face. So I look
oh, that's
even
so pretty.
gayer.
Yes.
Like,
It is really pretty.
I
who is
love
she? Who is she?
I love.
She is like, sorry.
No, you're
My agent, my like PR people told me so often, be like, don't just get onto one of your tangents. Talk about what your project is. And I'm like, okay,
Okay,
that's
okay, I
oops.
see it, but I disagree
mhm,
because we need to see the personality behind it all. I
mhm.
think that
Sure.
really, like, livens everything up, and getting to know you. I mean, obviously, you were amazing that night whenever we were at that, like, that gala thing. It was
Oh
like that.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really fun.
Yeah, it was like a fundraiser for a local school, and they offer things for what is it? They were
Like
raising
creative
money.
writing.
Yeah, it's creative writing, but they were, like, offering specifically they were fundraising for being able to offer that to people who are unhomed and for people that just, like, don't quite have the money, they offer scholarships, and then also for domestic violence survivors. So I was like, "Let's go," and one of my friends, Ellen, actually, who is part of our team, she was one of the writers that got to speak. So we got to hear you, we got
Yeah.
to see her, and I was like, "I wanna go up to you," and I finally got the nerve at the end, and I did it.
Do I, because obviously you can't perceive yourself in a big group of people, but like,
Mhm.
do I come off intimidating in a big group of people, or is it just that I'm,
I mean, you're loud because you're a singer, right? Like, I think it's honestly, like, it's not that you're intimidating. I think it's more so that, like, there's, like, an invisible barrier whenever there's a performer that you're like, "Am I allowed to, like, walk
that's
up
true.
here?" You know? Like, it's
Okay,
like, that's
cool.
intimidating. So you're not like,
Got
if
it.
you would've, like, walked out into, like, the crowd and, like, been mingling, I would've, like, gone up to you. Much easier.
Okay, cool. Cool, 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 cool. All right. Good. Because I worry about that sometimes because I have been told that I look intense and scary. And I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, cool. When I'm performing, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm very focused. And if I break focus, I will lose my train of thought. I will lose where I am in the music.
Mhm,
It'll
Fair.
just lose itself. But afterwards, I want people to come up to me and talk to me.
mhm.
Okay, cool. So it was just the performer ring. Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
that was really fun. I love being part of that. I love trying to bring my energy and my I guess my music and my art to spaces and to causes that matter. So
Oh,
yeah,
I love that.
I
shout out
love.
Red Bud Writing.
That's the
Yeah.
name. I was like, "I know there's a name
Instagram.
to it."
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Do you have any more this is gonna come out, I think, in December. Do you have any, big things coming up December, January, early next year at all?
Yes. So December 4th is my EP release party show thing.
Period.
Okay.
So actually that's one of the reasons for the legs is that I'm going to take over Poorhouse and I'm going to decorate it with all my mannequin legs and
Yes.
other things.
I love that venue though.
Yeah, yeah, I love that venue too. My buddy Donnie Daniil
Mhm.
is opening for me. Donnie Daniil and the Scrumptious. He's opening for me. We've been wanting to do a show with each other for such a long time. And yeah, and I've never done a release show for my own music. I released an EP back in 2021 that I just didn't have the capacity and like the organization or like the money to do it right. So I
Mhm.
didn't do
Mhm.
it. And then I released a live EP just for shits and giggles. And so this time I'm just like, okay, I'm doing it right. I
Mhm.
have a very strong concept. There'll be outfit changes, there'll be special guests, there'll be mannequin pieces everywhere. It's gonna be and the EP is called Death, Love, and Disco.
Ooh.
Three of the songs that have already been released. So Disco Never Died, Stress Dreams, and Lies. And then there's two more songs coming out. It will also align with the vinyl coming out of Def Love and Disco. And then I also had my other EP, which was The View from Here, pressed on the side B of that. So like there's going to be a physical copy of all of my music, which makes me very happy.
I love that. I am really excited about
Yeah,
your release. That'll be really
yeah.
cool. I
Please
just
please come to it. It's December 4th. I know it's on a Thursday, but it's also, I didn't want to have to fight for weekend stuff for like holiday things.
Right.
It won't be a super late show. This is how you have to convince people. Like even Gen Z millennials people. I'll be like, it's not going to be super late. You can buy a ticket beforehand. You know,
Right
doors
now,
at 7,
the
show at 8.
doors at 7, show at 8.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
And you
think.
said it's at Poorhouse?
Yeah, in Raleigh.
I'm putting it in my calendar.
I might be, yeah, great. There is a VIP experience thing that I'm doing on December 3rd, and that's in Durham, but I haven't opened that to the public yet.
Okay. Okay.
So, um, that I guess I can talk about it now because this isn't going
Yeah,
to
it's
come
gonna
out.
go out like the beginning of December.
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing a little VIP thing at Club Era. I'm collaborating with some of my favorite local drag queens. They're going to be performing my songs for me.
Oh,
And then I'll be doing a little Q&A about this stuff, and then I'll be sharing songs that I'll be releasing next year as well. And it's
I
kind of like a
love that.
private listening party. Yeah.
That'll be really fun. And I like I don't know why, but it feels like bigger artists, right? Whenever we were younger, because I'm 31, so like we
Right.
somewhat
We're
had
close.
similar experiences, right? Whenever we were younger, I feel like it was such a big thing to have the album release because you were like, I get the CD now, like I get to do this, like I get to whatever.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
now I feel like whether it's because I don't follow a certain artist very much, or like maybe it's just because everything is online, it doesn't feel as important anymore, so, like, I feel like this is kind of
You know,
bringing that
that's
importance back a
exactly
little
it.
bit. Yeah.
I thought, I mean, I've always wanted to do something like this because, again, I grew up with that as well of just like you're waiting and then the next day you can go to the music store and get the CD.
Mhm,
Or like that's the day you could download it on iTunes,
mhm.
right? And you would still have like a very specific, or honestly, you would start to hear it on the radio and then you could start calling into the radio and say, I want that song again. And
Yeah.
like that kind of experience. Like kids these days don't even have that experience.
No, because it's on
So
Spotify, you can pick the song you want at the exact
it's
time you want.
yeah, everything is so accessible
Mhm.
that it kind of robs some of the magic. Yeah, I just wanted something a little bit special, and like I'm planning on doing things that are pretty ephemeral
Mm,
of like you had to be there to see it
I love that. I
because
love that
we
so
have
much.
so little of that these days.
Yeah. We really do, and I feel like, to a point, I understand why we wanted to make things so accessible, and I love that. But I'm also like, but there's something about that experience that's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It just feels special, and everyone deserves to
Yeah.
feel special.
Exactly. I thought Haley Williams did a really good job. Are you familiar with how she did her most recent releases?
Yes. I didn't
Yes.
find out
So
about it until, like, afterwards, but I was like, "This is so cool."
I happen to be on that part of like TikTok or that part of thing where I was just like, holy shit, this is the coolest thing I've seen in a really long time. Actually, it kind of reminded me of CeeLo Green, whatever,
Mhm.
however you feel about him. He had a really cool like website as well back in like 20, I think it was 2014, where you had to like you had to explore this to find different songs. And if you did this in this order, it was really cool. It doesn't exist anymore. I thought that was really cool. I think Phoebe Bridgers' label that she has with other people, I think their website is still kind of interactive in that
Mhm.
way. But the Haley Williams one was just, it hit in that like
Nostalgia.
nostalgia
Yeah.
way, but also just creating a moment and then taking it all down. I was like, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
But you have to be a big enough artist for that to happen successfully.
Exactly, and I think, like, I mean, she grew up in the public eye so much because I mean, she's between our ages. She's, like, 32 or something like that, right? But she's, like,
Uh,
32 or 33. She's, like, around our age enough that I feel like I went through a lot of the same things with her, and so it was like, that's why I love her music so much.
she
It's
is
very special.
36.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a little bit older. She is 36. She's a little bit older than us, but she was in a 20-year contract.
Yeah. That's a long time.
20-year
That's a
contract.
long time. Long, long.
That's insane.
Yeah. But, I mean, she was a kid
It's
when
a
she started.
long time as an artist to
Yeah.
not own your shit.
Exactly, and she was a kid. I feel like the music industry, whenever it gets to that level, is very predatory.
Absolutely. It's I'll be very honest with you. It's predatory at all levels.
Oh, yeah?
It's predatory at every single level. You just have to have your eyes open.
That's fair. That's fair, and as a
Yeah.
kid, that's not something that's easy to do, especially or, like,
No.
honestly, you go in I feel like a lot of people are very much like, "I love the world, and I just wanna do this, and I wanna make people happy, and I wanna make me happy," and then it's just like, "Oh, I didn't realize I was being taken advantage of," because you assume the best from
Yeah.
everybody, which is a good thing to do,
Yeah.
but also not always beneficial.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about the fact that like Billie Eilish, I think one of like an example, and I know that she's probably been through a lot. I mean, she has been through a lot
Mhm,
as a very young person. I think she's right now, she's only like 23 or 24, but she's I recently went to one of her shows. And the way that she can still like you can tell she's still very much in control of everything that happens around her.
mhm,
And I just think that's really
phenomenal.
fascinating and empowering and phenomenal. Yeah, it's just
That is
really
amazing.
interesting.
I feel like that also comes from having a family in these industries, like, she grew up in this,
That's
so she
true. They
saw
had more of an idea about it.
Yeah, yeah, and, like, having enough money to fight stuff and be like, "Well, I'm gonna get this stuff
That's
out there
true.
no matter what," like, that's also, like, its own form of, like, a privilege, of course. Money is always a privilege, but,
For sure.
speaking of money, are you able to do this full time now, or are you doing stuff on the
No.
side as well? No? Okay.
Oh no. I work at a plant shop in
Ooh,
downtown
plants.
Raleigh.
Okay.
I definite hyperfixation of mine is plants. I work at a plant shop. I I'm a partner in a rock and roll team building company called Drum Team Collective, where we teach people how to play the drums with a like live rock and roll band. I do that, do like some gigs on the side. I do translating and interpreting as needed whenever my mom calls me up and she needs like a specific project done.
Mhm.
I nanny here and there. Yeah, everything. Multiple gigs to make this ship keep
Yeah.
running.
So you have, like, your hand in multiple buckets to be able to, like, have it be flexible enough that you can have the gigs
Yes.
when they pop up. That's really
Yep.
nice. How could somebody hire you, and about how much does it cost, or does that depend on the type of event that it is?
For music,
Mhm,
it depends on yeah, it depends on the event. Depends on how long I have to be there.
mhm,
Depends on if you want me and one other person versus the full band.
mhm,
It depends on a couple different things. But yeah, these days, like, and it also depends on if you want Azul, like my original, if you want my show,
mhm.
or if you just want a cover band. That's a separate thing.
Okay, okay.
So, I mean, um, yeah, and it also just depends. Like for Redbud, I did a very reduced cost thing for them because I wanted to work with them and I wanted to
Right,
be part of it.
right.
Like, as long as it's as long as my bandmates are happy with what they're getting, I try to make sure that everyone gets at least 200 to 250 bucks for the night.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Depending, but also, I mean, there's so many things. Are we bringing our own sound? Are we setting up and loading up ourselves? Do we have
Right.
to just show up and plug in? That's what, like, you know, I'll do a gig for like $5,000 or I'll do a gig for $1,000. And I've learned over time what are the negotiating factors,
Mhm.
including I really need this gig. And if I'm competing with someone else to get this gig
Right.
and how much I like the person that I'm working with.
Right, right, right. And I do really like I mean, I have my own business aside from this one too, where it's like
Yeah.
I totally understand that like I will make exceptions. Like I have rules, but then it's like I see you
Yeah.
need something, I see you need help, and this is a cause that I want to do, or this is somebody that I really, really want to help because I know that like they just can't afford this. I can offer a little bit of discount. I can offer like a waiving of this thing to be like better off it'll be better off for both of us in the long run if I just waive this right now. And so I really do love the flexibility of whenever you are your own entity, being able to make those decisions. I love that.
Yeah. I think it's also important to be like working outside of the constructs of just like traditional money.
Mhm.
There's friends of mine that even my own musician friends, you know, I'll be like, guys, this gig came in. I really want to do it. They're not paying a lot. What do you guys need to make this happen? What would make it this? What do you guys want to do this gig? All right, cool. We all want to do this gig. What else can we ask for? All right, cool. Are they going to feed us? Are they
Mhm.
going to house us?
Mhm.
Are they going to pay us maybe for gas money? Cool. We'll look at like there's non-traditional ways of being
Right.
compensated. And then also there's been times where um I'll use my example with my friend TJ, he's my bassist, where I needed his help to play at my friend's wedding and my friend was not going to pay any money and I didn't have any money to pay TJ for his time.
Mhm.
So we did a bartering where I know that TJ needed help cleaning out his closet and organizing his clothes and then going and thrifting and finding cool new stuff to wear. I say, that is literally what I love to do. That's how I will pay you for this gig.
I love that.
So I spent 6 hours taking out all of his clothes, going through every single piece, throwing away and donating a bunch of stuff. And then a week later, we went out and we went thrifting and like picked out cool stuff and like we talked about budget. So yeah, I love touching on people's stuff.
Honestly,
Which I bet you do too.
same. Because you describe that, and I'm like, that's literally what I do for like majority of my clients. It might not be their closet, but like
Yeah.
I love it whenever people are like, I'm donating this item, and I'm like, okay, cool, put it in the bag, and then they're like, yeah, you could take whatever you want from the donation pile, and I'm like,
And there's been moments where I've like helped my sister-in-law or like I'm helping other people and I'm just like, you don't realize, but you have money in here. And I think that that may be coming from like my immigrant background. Like I have a hard time throwing things
yes,
away and I will reuse the shit out of something before I throw it away,
yeah,
or I will find out if anyone wants it. All right, how much money can I get for it? If not, all right, I'm going to put it in someone's way where I know that they need it.
yep,
I'm going to make it available to them. Yeah, like I've been helping my sister-in-law sell a bunch of stuff on Depop
yep,
because she had too many clothes that didn't fit her or too big for her, like all this stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, girl. And I helped, and because like it's one of those like ADHD things where like I understand how Depop works.
hmm,
I understand what you have to do to get a piece of clothing sold. You
hmm,
need a good clean background to take a picture. You need what the original item looked like in the store,
hmm.
if that's possible. And then you need like little things about it. Yeah, I've sold like maybe 10 or 11 pieces for her at this point.
I love that. Yeah. So that's actually the keeping everything, wanting to use everything, that is something that I work with my clients a lot on because especially right now people are like I can't get rid of things and I'm like we have to come up with like I'm not like a Marie Kondo get rid of everything, right? I hate that. But we do have to have the am I using this or am I just keeping it for no reason? Like do you see at all how you could use this item? If it's just going to sit here, it could be going to somebody that could need it. And so we work through that process. But then also, like you said, okay, Depop can be really confusing. It can be really stressful. Okay, let's send it to ThreadUp. Let's get them to send us a
Yeah,
bag, throw everything in there, and then send it in. They'll be able to send you
go
money
through
or
it
donate
and do
it.
the whole thing.
There you go. They do it all for you. It might not be a lot of money, but it'll be something and it'll be going towards people
Yeah.
that need it. So I really do love that. It's really hard to work through that though, of like, no, let's keep everything because
Yeah.
it could be art or it can be used for this and this and this. Or I just don't want to have to rebuy 1,000 things in the future. And it's like, okay, coming up with your own boundaries, it's hard. Anyway, random segment of organizing.
Yeah. I'm into it. I love it.
But we are coming up to the hour mark. Is there anything that you would like to share that we have not hit on?
Please listen to my music. Please buy my merch. Okay. We have not hit on this. As a community as a whole,
Mhm.
I would like to see people buying tickets ahead of time. I know that's sometimes hard for people. You're like, oh, I'm gonna be kind of tight coming into the show. But if at all possible, as just like for any show, for drag show, for art shows, for music, for anything, more and more I'm seeing people needing to support an event before it even happens.
Yes,
Because I'm seeing on my end of stuff, people's shows getting canceled because not enough tickets were sold.
we've had that experience as
So,
well.
yes. So, as a PSA, this could be like me preaching to the choir. Try, if you can, when you see something, an event that you want to go to and you want to support this artist, buy the ticket that second.
Exactly. I love
And
that.
then, yeah. And then if you can, additionally, buy a sticker, buy a little piece of merch,
Mhm.
buy something. It's not so much about like supporting the artist with your money. It's you're taking that little piece and you're going to put it somewhere or you're going to wear it and that's going to like trigger like
It's
little
advertising.
ripples into the universe. Yeah, it's advertising, but it's also like being a little ooh woo about it. It's a little bit of it's also energy.
That's true.
Like
Yeah.
I I love when someone sends me a DM or a message and says, I was wearing your shirt out in public and this girl came up to me and says, what does that shirt mean? And then we had a whole conversation and now she listens to your music. I'm like, great,
Yeah.
awesome. But also, did you find a new friend? Did you make a new friend? That's
Yeah.
great. That's also too, that's, like little things like that is what make the world go round. That's what I
Yeah.
want to end with. Also, stream my music, buy my music on Bandcamp. Uh, December 4th is when everything comes out.
Okay. How can people find your music right now then? You said we can stream it on Bandcamp?
Everything. It is available everywhere.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What is your
If you
website?
go to Azul Zapata,
Okay. Can you spell that out for us as well?
yes, A as in apple, Z as in zebra, U as in umbrella, L as in llama, Z as in zebra, A as in apple, P as in Paul, A as in apple, T as in Tom, A as in apple.
I love that.
I had to do this so many times on the phone. I gave up at Starbucks. Actually, I don't buy stuff from Starbucks, but anytime someone asks me for my name at like a coffee shop, I would say, I'll look at them and I'll read their tag and be like, do they deserve my real name? If not, it's Katie.
That's an easy one. I love
Yeah.
that so
But
much.
I've had someone spell it out KT before. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I guess we all have it rough somehow.
Never seen that before, but that's
Oh yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, thank
It's
you so
it's an
much
interesting
for being
time.
here. Koee
Wait,
did text me.
I gotta do something for the goodbye. Hold on.
Okay. Is it the hand?
Bye.
Thank you so much for being here.
Bye.
Koee did
No
message and
problem.
said that they're sorry that they couldn't figure out how to get their storage to go away in time to come back, but they loved meeting you.
Aw, me too. Tell him it's okay. It'll be fine. I'll see him next time.
Okay. I love this. This is great.
Okay.
Bye to the hand. Have a
Bye.
really good rest of your day.
You too. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Queer Vision podcast. Once again, I'm Becca. My co-host was Koee, and we met with Azul. If you stuck around this long, which you definitely should because it's amazing, you'll know Azul is amazing. She's an artist. She's a singer. Go support her in any way that you can. She's a woman of many talents, and I wish I had as much talent as that lady. Anyway, but yeah, so go support her, go to her website, go follow her on Instagram, go stream her music, go to her show. Do whatever you can to support her. Share her events if you can't go yourself. Any little bit helps. Anything you can do to spread some energy is a great idea. But anyway, and if you would like information about us or more of our featured queers, you can go to queerlina.org, QUEROLINA.org, and you can find all of our socials. You can find our magazine that goes along with this podcast. You can find all of the featured queers that we have had thus far, and you can find our events. So go hop on queerlina.org, give us a follow on our socials, and we'll see you next week. Hopefully, both of us. All right. Love you. Bye.